Today I woke up and said, let's go experience something new in Las Vegas. Let's go to a presidential rally. You've never done that before, Britt. If you're new here, I'm Britt. I own a company in Las Vegas called LaCritique where I literally critique guest experiences professionally. I'm trained to see things that people don't see or that they can feel but they don't know how to express. Sometimes it's conscious or subconscious. Anyway, it's a whole thing. I go to the first time experience, never even been in the same room as a president before. Don't come after me with fucking pitchforks because it was a Trump rally. It's not the point of this fucking video, so don't even go there. As I'm a guest at the Red Rock Resort, there were so many failed opportunities. I look at customer service and hospitality. Stations Casinos had the opportunity to treat thousands of people waiting hours in line with hospitality, and they just missed the mark. More so, they missed it to their staff working the event. There I am, standing in line, waiting hours, and at each little pit stop are these different security professionals. You get to talking in line. They had gotten there at 6:30 in the morning. It was approximately 12:30 when I was having one of these conversations with the guy, and he said he hadn't even had a restroom break, let alone a water break. The fuck? I get that it's a high security situation, but that's not acceptable in any position anyway. And you're a $1 billion hospitality company here in Las Vegas. Like, come on, show your staff some hospitality. It was always like one of the greatest things about when I worked at Bellagio is like every single employee was a guest. And that was the standard, period, end of story. Anyway, lost opportunities across the board from stations, had all these people on their property, and after the event, nobody's really stayed. They could have given out coupons for lunches. Go grab a lunch now that the speech is over. Here's $5 on us. It wouldn't have taken much to keep so many people on property for longer. Okay, enough about stations. Let's talk about the actual event. The line was just outrageous, hours and hours and hours long. Not all of the attendees were very nice. If you actually go and watch the start, like maybe first 5 minutes of my live stream, you'll notice I'm actually talking about the intensity and the elevated tenseness in the room. I don't know, like maybe everybody was fucking grumpy and hangry. I can't even explain it. I've never been to one of these things before. So for me, it was extremely awkward feeling and it really impacted the overall experience. I've planned events in ballrooms all over this city for decades. I was really disappointed with the size of the room that they chose to host this event. As thousands of people didn't get in who wanted to get in, it could have been a bigger space. Some of those ballrooms could have opened up and adjoined to other ones to make it a bigger space. Of course, there's always security logistics that you have to really consider that, normal event planners maybe don't see what the Secret Service has to fucking deal with, but still, it would have been better to have more people there, I think. Felt a bit limited was all. Then they ended up letting more people in than I guess they were supposed to. One of the security guys said that the fire marshal was there and he wasn't happy, and if we didn't all stay put, like we were gonna get told to leave and blah, blah, blah. That, of course, comes across unnecessarily aggressive. There's just some logistical things on the event planning and execution side that I do believe some of the staff can be trained better on how to handle and manage guests in that situation. I also believe that the process of getting everybody in the room was just ridiculous. Because I was one of the last people in, I didn't see any of the speeches that happened before Trump came out. Who even knew? I didn't even know there were other speeches happening. On the email confirmations that went out, none of that was communicated. So there was a gap in expectations versus reality, which from a guest experience side is a missed touch point, right? Oh, I also really thought that it was poor planning to put the handicapped wheelchaired people in the back. Who the fuck does that? They're in a wheelchair for a reason. You put them in the front because they're not standing up and blocking the view of other guests behind them. That was a whole issue. I don't know who the fuck planned that. That was terrible. They had the worst view of everybody. I felt really bad for them. You know how NFR rodeo time and during the Golden Knights games, every single person who gets a ticket gets something left on their chair, a scarf or a poster, something, right? A handout. Well, it seemed at this event that the signs that they were handing out were limited to very specific people. That was also seemingly a missed opportunity because perhaps more guests would have enjoyed to receive one of the little handheld signs. Also, the seating arrangement, I don't think the chairs were appropriately set up. There were so many empty seats in the middle sections that so many people in the back were standing, elderly people even. There were available seats. I don't know, execution-wise, I was just pretty disappointed. I think my last critique is that Trump just went on and on. For the people who got there at 6:30 in the morning, they probably loved it, right? They were like, yeah, this is what I stood in line for. This is what I waited all fucking day for. I deserve to see the president talk for almost an hour. But all the guests who were standing and had already stood in line for hours were not so comfortable. I witnessed a lot of the guests like trying to move around on their feet, but they were too scared to move around because the security people were just so tight. I don't know. It was awkward. At the end of this entire experience, I'm glad that I at least got to say that I was in the same room as a president. Now that checked the box out of my life experiences. Okay, cool. But ask me to go and do that again? Absolutely not. No. I critique experiences. The two most important questions are, am I excited to tell all my friends and family about this? And do I want to return? If the answers are no to either of those questions, then we have not succeeded in providing an excellent customer experience. Love you, Vegas.